Special counsel Jack Smith refiled his 2020 election subversion indictment against former President Donald Trump, basically overhauling it to comply with the Supreme Court's decision on presidential immunity. The backstory here is that at the beginning of July, the Supreme Court handed down its landmark ruling that a president enjoys absolute immunity for official acts and that there's a presumption of immunity when there is a bit of gray area. That ruling came in response to Trump's challenge against this 4-count indictment against him being prosecuted by Smith's team. But the Supreme Court didn't quash that indictment outright. It merely kicked it back to lower courts to determine whether or not that case could move forward under the Supreme Court's new presidential immunity framework. And so in this superseding indictment that Jack Smith filed, he kept the same 4 charges against Trump that were in the original indictment, but he retooled it to pull out stuff that could be related to official acts. Perhaps the most significant change was descriptions that have since been omitted in the new version about Trump's interactions with former Assistant Attorney General Jeffrey Clark, who had pressed his bosses to send a letter to states questioning the election results. There was a big focus of the since defunct House January 6th committee. Now, Smith also made sure to explain why the actions in question were done for personal reasons and done in a personal capacity in his view, and not done in an official capacity. He was very clear about that in this new indictment and really drew out that distinction. So basically all this means is that Trump is not out of the woods yet, and his legal trouble is set to rev up again. Now, if the lower courts allow Smith's indictment to go forward, Trump is almost certainly likely to appeal it and try to get it all the way up to the Supreme Court again if it comes to that. So this will likely be litigated for quite a while before it goes to trial. Suffice to say, with all of Trump's outstanding indictments, it seems very unlikely that any of them are going to go to trial before the November 5th presidential election. So it seems like it won't have as much of an impact, although Trump could still theoretically face sentencing in the 34-count hush money case that he was found guilty of back in May.